before spring break. It was like the week before spring break. It might have been the Thursday or Friday before spring break, and we're all sitting in the locker room because we had practice and in the spring, and Coach Dunbar wrote, we like go to get water, and we come back and it says pizza party on the board, and we're like, where'd our last drill go? It's so weird. I was like, no way. And so we go into the locker room and they get us pizza, and we watch the guys. They were playing Michigan basketball down in Indy in the like Indiana Classic thing or whatever. So it was a cool atmosphere of us just watching and cheering the guys on. And I'm sitting there and the game's almost over. I'm just checking my email, and some of the girls getting up and get ready to go, and I see CNT/EU, and it's College National Team. And I was like, okay. And so I read it, and it started saying, thank you for coming. And so I'm like, okay, I didn't make a team, but I gave my best, and it was a great experience. And keep reading, and it's like, thank you, you've been selected for, the European tour. And I was like, oh my gosh. I literally sprung from the couch I was on, like 10 feet to the table in the middle of our locker room. I'm like, not even speaking English. I'm like, look at this. And it was surreal, and I'm like shaking, trying to read it to the girls, and everyone's hugging, and Coach Dunbar's like, yeah, and Coach K's like, this is so cool. And and it was just really awesome. Got out of the locker room, and I was still in shock. I was like texting Dunbar and saying, is this actually real? Like, can you just validate that this is real? And she's like, yeah, you made it, and congrats and everything. So I'm telling my mom, and my grandma calls, and she's freaking out. And after that, it was just, a lot of just anticipation for the trip and everything. And they started like a Facebook group, and, gave us information more as time came along. So that was the process of it. And then it seemed like it came so fast. Yeah. It was exactly like that. We get there, first of all, like in the baggage claim, you could tell like people are sizing each other up and kind of like, oh, I wonder what position she plays or whatever. And it was like a little bit of that in practice, but I think we realized immediately like we're gonna need to be in this together, and those like barriers kind of went down immediately because we went sightseeing. And I think the coaches did a good job of doing like activities right away where we all were together, or we had to figure stuff out, like at the pizza. Like we had to work together to figure out how to say, what we wanted to eat, because the coaches were like, they treated us like adults, which was really cool. We had practice, and it was like, they're like, we're gonna go like practice, and they kicked our butts. But it was good. It was fun, getting back into playing shape and just being with girls who like go for it. There was no holding back, and it was just like everyone was on the same page. Like, we want to come here to win. We're gonna have fun, but like the main goal is to win whatever we, whoever we play, whatever we do. And so we had some practices with the Italian team there, and then that Friday we scrimmaged, and we lost in a tough match, but it was a close one. It was really good. And then we did a lot of sightseeing, like you said. Went downtown to the Duomo, which is like their big cathedral, and they've got like the old shopping centers down there, and it's all beautiful. Everyone's dressed so nice, and $500 sunglasses and skirts and suits, and it was really cool to see. And then we had a lot of gelato, at least I did. Pizza, and we had like this local like convenient mart that was right down the street. We'd go get fruit and water, really cheap, and it was really fun, just kind of like being culturally submerged in like their, lay of the land and how they live and whatnot. And they didn't speak any English, very, very little English, so that was fun trying to figure out how to, I had Google Translate, so I'm like trying to like say it right without offending anyone. And so we figured some words out. I said sorry a lot. Then we caught a train. We rode 2 trains and a bus to Pula, Croatia, where the tournament was that we actually played in. And that was really fun being there. It wasn't as much sightseeing. Well, I guess we had a few days, but it was more so business, playing. And the first day was the opening ceremonies in like the little town square, which was really cool. We were with the teams like from Slovenia, Russia, China, England, I forget where else, but it was, really cool. And they're, speaking their language, and we're just like sounding like Americans. I don't know. And so we went sightseeing a little bit. We went to the Coliseum that night, and then went and rested up. And then we started the tournament. We played Russia the first day, and then an England team, Slovenia, and other teams. I cannot remember the countries they were from. But, leading up to the championship match, and the big win was against China. It was before pool play, I think it's called. So when they reconfigured everything, we ended up playing them in the championship because they won their side of the bracket, we won our side. And that match was just unbelievable. Like they put on the main stage, and I had people texting, "We're gonna watch you," and I was like, "Thanks," and everything, and stands, and all the teams come to watch the championship match, and it was awesome. Like that feeling of just going for it and competing was just so unreal. And I think we lost the first match, and then came back and won the last three, and it was just like the adrenaline, and everyone's so excited and pumped, and like, let's go every single point. And I don't even think half the team knew that it was like over at the last point, because like people were like still ready to go. And so that was a really cool experience. And rushed the court, and we're like, USA, USA. And then we did like the closing ceremonies, but that was really, really cool. Really cool experience. Really glad we got the win. I think that made the trip even better. Yeah, it was definitely exciting to be able to wear a USA jersey and get pictures in it, and it was just like a surreal feeling. Like I remember that last night when we had like the pool party, and it was like we'd all jumped in the pool, and like some of us had like our USA flags on our back, and it was probably just the coolest moment. One of those things like I'll just never ever forget, just replay in my mind. So yeah, it was a cool thing.